So I wanted to show you guys something. This is actually a day later, and I've been trying to set up the GEM28EC, and it's been going, I'm learning a brand new mount. It's unlike any other mount I've used. It is an equatorial, but I'm trying to figure it out right now. But I wanted to show you something. So my guiding has been absolutely horrible. I did the whole guiding assistant, and the guiding assistant would give me the polar alignment error of 260 minutes, arc minutes, which is huge. So I want to show you guys this. This is the iPolar. It came with the scope, and I'm going to hit connect right here. And if you look at this image, this right here is Polaris. These are power lines that go right over my house. There's a ton of them. I absolutely hate them. With the PoleMaster, I've never had a problem with that. But with this one, I'll show you guys the problem right here. So I have to come in here and load a dark frame. Once the dark frame is loaded, then it starts to detect stars. Here's the problem. More than 29 stars detected, please decrease exposure time to let at most 29 stars be recognized. Well, here's the problem. It's actually only detecting maybe 4 stars at 250 milliseconds. So let's say I knock that down to 62 milliseconds. Well, it's still saying that. So let's do 31 milliseconds. So now it's reading only 5 to 6 stars. It's no longer reading the power lines, but it's only reading 5 to 6 stars, which means the plate solving keeps failing. So I need to be in between 31 and 62, because 62 plate solve keeps failing because there's more than 29 stars. So it's reading each one of these points of this line as a star. So the iPolar is completely useless to me in my backyard or in any place that has any type of obstruction like power lines going over Polaris, because it will read all these tiny little stars that it thinks are stars that are actually power lines. So other than, let's close this, other than using this screen right here, without the dark frame where I can actually see the power lines, all I can really do is find which one is Polaris, do the dark, and then just kind of put this square next to Polaris and hope that it's a decent polar alignment. That's the only thing that I can do. So that is really annoying to me. Fortunately, this is my travel mount, so it's not a huge deal in my specific case, because 99% of the time I'm not going to have an obstruction like this, so this isn't going to be an issue. But the fact that right now in my testing, this is an issue because of those power lines, and like I said, it reading parts of the power lines as a star, that really, really needs to be fixed. Because if somebody in my position bought this mount and has a similar issue or has a similar setup as I have with power lines next to Polaris, the iPolar is completely useless for them. That's like, what, $250 or $350 for the iPolar? I'm not sure exactly how much, but it's right around there. That's money down the toilet because they can't use it. It's useless as long as there's power lines and stuff going through it. So far, that's my impressions of the iPolar. But once I actually start getting to image, I'll come back to you guys. I got a hold of Ioptron, and I asked him how I can deal with the power lines. They told me that I can draw a mask. Well, drawing a mask is just absolutely ridiculous in this program, and I'll show you why here in a second. Well, I ended up finally getting what I think is decent polar alignment, only after downgrading to iPolar 2.21 from 2.50, where I still had the gain. So messing with the gain and the exposure time actually gave me the ability to block out the power lines for the most part, and I think I got a decent polar alignment. Now let me see if it lets me do this. So when I go to draw a mask, now draw a mask is supposed to draw a mask on the picture of where you don't want it to look. So I thought, oh, okay, I'll just draw along each one of the power lines, because there's 6 power lines. If I draw along each one of the power lines, I'm good to go. It'll ignore just the power lines. It doesn't quite work like that. So the first problem I had was, watch what happens when I click. So you see where my mouse is, right here? So you'd think when I click to start the begin point for the mask, that it would be right where my mask is. It's not. Watch. I click. Yeah, it's not letting me. Okay, so I click for the mask, and the mask just it sucks. I can't demonstrate how much it sucks, but basically, if I click right here to start a mask, you would think that I'd click right there, and I'd drag up along a power line or whatever, and then click the end of the power line, and it would make a connecting line between the two. Well, it doesn't. Let's say I click right here. Well, when the mask starts, it starts all the way over here, or all the way over there, or up here. It like randomly puts the beginning of the box. And then I can't go diagonal, it just opens this big yellow box. Most annoying thing ever. But regardless, I'm pretty sure I got pretty good polar alignment, so we will find out later tonight if that's true. So I will be back with you guys once I actually get imaging finally. Alright, so far I've actually gotten all my photos in HA and O3. I am actually photographing NGC 6823. We're going to have a Sulfur 2 come up here shortly, but I want to talk a little bit. So one of the problems that I ran into, as you know, was the iPolar polar alignment. At the end of the polar alignment, you saw where I had gotten it pretty polar aligned. Well, I ran PhD2, and it still told me that my polar align was about 260 arc minutes, or I think it was closer to 200 arc minutes off this time. So I spent about an hour and a half trying to figure out a way to fit my PoleMaster onto the mount. And I tried a couple different things. I ended up fastening the PoleMaster to a steel tube that I have, and then sliding the tube into the hole, where the iPolar looks through. I ended up sliding it into the hole and then tightening it down with a bolt. On the side of the mount, there was a little threaded area that I could thread a bolt through. I ended up tightening it down like that. Unfortunately, the PoleMaster was not exactly straight. So I got about 6 arc minutes of error, which I'm used to getting closer to like 1 to 2 minutes of arc error at most. So 6 was a bit higher than I liked, but it's resulted in, I've been bouncing around 0.70 to 1.14. But what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to 3D print a piece that fits in there perfectly so I don't have to use that pole anymore. But here's the Sulfur 2 picture. As you can see, you have this that right there. I hope the pictures come out good. The hydrogen alpha was really, you could really see the nebula. But hopefully this picture will look pretty good when I get it all stacked. I've still got 9 more exposures of Sulfur 2, and then I'm going to call it a night. But I would say first opinions of the mount is I think it's a decent mount. If I can get it polar aligned really well, I think if I can get it polar aligned to within 1 to 2 arc minutes that I'm used to, then I will probably be getting 0.4, 0.5 RMS instead of 1.16. But the problem is getting it polar aligned. The iPolar was, I don't know if it's a problem because of the power lines. I thought I had taken care of that. But it's just the whole program is, I don't know, it just feels like it was sloppily put together. It just feels like they wanted to compete with the PoleMaster, so they just threw out a program, and who cares if it works or not. But yeah, I am not at all fond of the iPolar program. The camera is fine, but the program is, I don't know, I just didn't like it. I'm not going to throw it out the window yet, per se. I still am going to take it to dark skies and see how it performs in dark skies, see if it does any better, if it's able to, do better in non-light polluted areas or less light polluted areas. But until then, I'm going to be using the PoleMaster because the PoleMaster's never let me down. I'll sing praises of the PoleMaster all day long. And right now, the iPolar is nowhere even close to the PoleMaster. So, but that's just my starting opinion. I'll learn some more, and like I said, when I get it out into dark skies, I'll test it out. But after I get these images, I'm probably going to lay down, go to sleep, and then I'll process the image, and whatever image I get, you guys will see at the end of the video. So if you guys like the video, like and subscribe. I'll be doing a review of my EQ6R Pro here pretty quick because I've had it for about 3 months now, I want to say. So I'll be doing a review of that here pretty soon. But yeah, and don't forget, if you guys want to use my High Point Scientific affiliate link down in the description, that would be awesome. But I will see you guys in the next video.